My classroom is, think of it as having no walls and no boundaries. So I have the luxury of really teaching family members that are out there across the state and across the country about families and aging is my content that I teach. And I also reach professionals and train professionals who are out there. So the way I reach people varies a lot. I use all kinds of different methods. So I might use web-based, I might use podcasts, I might use print material. So multiple ways of reaching those two audiences. Along with no walls or no walls to the classroom, I also don't have to grade. That's a real exciting thing from my vantage point. Because I've taught undergrads in the past, and grading and evaluation is not one of my favorite things. So these are professionals who are learning. They're maybe getting professional development credit. They're learning, for example, they might be practitioners working around elder abuse, and they're coming to a session to learn about elder financial exploitation from me. So they might be getting credits, but they're there because they want to be there. They're learning how to be better practitioners, not for grades, not for other kinds of incentives typically. My research and teaching are highly connected. They really inform each other. And so my research, the big picture of my research is really to protect the economic and social well-being of later life families. That would be kind of the big picture of really why I think I do my work. Specifically, I deal a lot with pretty normative decisions about all later life families are going to face. Things such as changes in health and independence, and how do we deal with long-term care? How do we deal with inheritance and the transfer of possessions? How do we deal with end-of-life decisions? Those are three big ones that I've spent a lot of my research career focused on, understanding the complexities of those decisions, how to help families make more informed decisions about those situations. And so those are kind of, that's the big areas that I focus on around really helping families navigate decisions that they probably aren't going to escape but don't have a clue how to address. One of the ones that I'm really focused on and have been the last couple of years, and there's just lots of work to do yet, is that's around understanding what fair means. And it may sound really simple. It's like, well, fair means equal, right? Well, no. Particularly when you think about what's fair in terms of complex family relationships and different kinds of resources that might be transferred. So part of the research I've been invested in is really trying to understand how family members, mostly older adults and adult children, siblings, navigate what fair means. We're learning a lot about what makes a process fair. And again, I think there's a lot of discussion about, so what is the outcome? So if I get X, that's fair. But we don't spend a lot of time talking about what's the process for deciding. And there's a whole theory around interpersonal social justice and theoretical insight into fairness that we ground our research in. And it really is saying process is often more important than the outcome. And so what is it about process that matters? So that's what we're starting to get at, as, again, being able to really discover what helps protect economic and social well-being of families in later life. That's kind of my ultimate driving force, is how do we do that? And the nitty-gritty of that, obviously you have to dive into those different decisions. And so I'm focused on discovering, again, issues around what makes a decision fair or unfair, and why and how to get families to talk about that. And currently I'm really focused on understanding the meaning and experience of elder financial exploitation. It's another example of something that nobody wants to have happen in their family, but what we know is that elder family exploitation is the most common type of elder abuse, and it's a growing type of elder abuse. So again, very little research in that area, particularly from the perspective of a family member who's affected. And so we are diving into that area, trying to discover what are the risk and protective factors, what could we possibly do to prevent exploitation from happening. So those are a few examples.
Yeah.